So I am Martin van Buul. You can call me Martin or Martin, is how they call me, usually in Taiwan. I am originally from Belgium. I've been living in Taiwan for almost 5 years, always working, doing music professionally, working with bands such as Siju Kong. I worked with Matthew Lien, and I've done some studio recordings and etc. etc. But recently my biggest focus is Orbit Folks. It's my own project, which in Chinese we call 世界軌跡. And with this band I try to mix folk music with jazz, mainly folk music that I think is at the whole Eurasian plateau, you know, Europe, Central Asia, the Far East. We started about 3 years ago when I met Waka. Waka is a Japanese who plays tabla, Indian tabla. And I met Janelle, Zhang Yizhen. She plays violin, more in the Eastern European, Middle Eastern style. So I was really interested in working together with them, just to study their styles of music, because it's so different from my style of music, which is jazz. And then it all worked out really well, and we started composing some songs. And then we found we needed a pianist, because composition often happens at the piano. So we found Mike Zheng Zhengyi, who's still a full member of our band. And then the quartet was born as a double bass, piano, violin, tabla quartet. We have been doing quite some performances. Yeah, we've been doing universities, little festivals, and we still try to play in the smaller clubs in Taipei as well, for the crowds, for the fans basically. And we hope we can try to, I mean, that's our goal. Our dream is to go abroad, around Taiwan, maybe Japan or the mainland, Hong Kong. So the future, recently Zhang Yizhen, Janelle, has decided to quit our band, which I regret a lot, because actually it's a lot because of her that it started, because of her sound on the violin. But you know, luckily I found a very good replacement, Huang Weijun, Stefan Huang, who is really working very hard, and he's got more of a jazz background, but he's doing really well. So I see it developing many directions. I mean, I'm open to lots of directions. I'm open to collaborating with other artists, maybe vocal artists, or maybe just other improvising musicians, maybe with dance or theater. You know, I would be really interested in that. And of course we would like to do another CD, maybe 1 or 2 years from now, and hopefully getting to know some contacts abroad, you know, who knows, Europe, going back to Belgium. I think nowadays jazz music is totally lost its purity. When you go to a jazz festival nowadays, you hardly hear any swing, you know. You'll hear lots and lots of different things. You'll hear people doing Latin or doing their own local folk music combined with jazz. They will do all kinds of things, but very rarely it's swing jazz or standard jazz. So to me, I just describe it as creative music. Anything that is music that involves composition, improvisation, and just creative thinking, where people are mixing things and using groove, or not even, it doesn't have to be. I think that's all okay for being on a jazz festival. I think it's starting, you know, it's growing, just like jazz. Taiwan is a place that develops a lot faster than Europe, for example. So already in these 5 years I've been here, I've seen a change, you know, not just become more beautiful, but also I see people getting more interested in these kind of arts or music, jazz, world music, Indian music. So I think definitely it's a very good place to be. Asia in general, I think. Jazz education is another field that will become bigger and bigger.
Okay. 1, 2, go. The Missing Link， 世界轨迹乐团失落的环节。
吴马丁说，他在创作这张专辑时，试着找寻全新的声音、心境等元素。这些元素或许从未连接在一起，就犹如一场音乐革命的跳板，在旧与新的元素中来回穿梭。
We won the Golden Melody Awards just a few weeks ago, the Jinchu Jiang. It also surprised me because it is instrumental music. There's lots of improvisation. There's lots of very foreign ingredients, like Middle Eastern or Eastern European sounds. But still, the jury and the people appreciated it, and they thought it was fresh, and they gave us the award. So I think people in Taiwan are always very curious, and they want to know what's happening, and they want to see something new. So I think, we won the producer, which is my personal award, and then the best crossover album. It puts out your name, right? And it's not that people suddenly are like on the phone all the time, but when you apply for performances, it's usually easier to get them. You have that already on your CV, and it impresses. Well, I think it's great, of course, that there is an interest into world music. That maybe eRenlai is the first one that even used world music in Taiwan. Nobody has ever thought of that before. That is there world music in Taiwan. So I think it's great. I mean, it can be put out there, and maybe people can become aware, also of Taiwan itself. Like, oh, Taiwan is in the world, and Taiwan has music, and Taiwan can produce world music. And Taiwan maybe can even be interesting for people abroad. Maybe people would like Taiwan music. I hope it can create a certain awareness. It's a Jewish traditional song that I heard a lot when I was a kid, because my family, my aunt and my grandmother, they were part of a folklore dance group, and even in school we would hear lots of this kind of folk music that people would dance to. And that time I had no idea. I mean, I just heard that music and I was kind of, oh, that's so old-fashioned, lao diao ya, you would say. But actually later on I realized it's really nice music, and I also realized that a lot of this music was from Israel, that it was not like just European or not Belgian. It's from all over Europe, and lots of it would be from Israel. And this piece I really liked, and I just took it, and I rearranged it a little bit. And the idea for the improvisation is that we don't use chord changes. It's kind of a free improvisation where we improvise chord changes. So the bass actually has an important role there, because it'll define the harmony, and the other musicians will follow that. And it's a little bit experimental, but I think it worked really well. It turned out really well, and Janelle sounds really great. So I'm very happy that you chose that song. Yeah.